this video, I'm going to show you how to make the tip of your pen using the drawings that you've created earlier. Earlier I showed you how to take those incremental measurements along your pen tip so we can create this using a loft. We'll start off by creating the planes that we need. We're going to start with the top plane, and I'm just going to make it visible. Then I'm going to come up to reference geometry, and I'm going to create a plane. It's going to use the top plane as our first reference. I'm going to put in a distance there, and this is what you're going to find off of your drawing sheet. Remember, the numbers I use are just made up. They won't do you a whole lot of good. I'm going to go ahead and create another plane. This will be the second one that's in the middle, and I'm going to change my number there. And then my last plane is going to actually be the other end of my pen tip. So if I look at this, one end is going to be on the top plane, the other end is going to be on what will be plane number 3. So I'm going to hit plane. This time I don't want to use plane 2 as my reference, so I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to come and choose top plane. And so my reference will be based from all the way down at top plane. This will be where you can enter the overall length of your pen tip. Now that we've got all the planes in place, we can go ahead and start drawing. So I'm going to do to the sketch tab. I'm going to select top plane, and I'm going to create a sketch. Put in my first circle. This is the diameter of your pen tip at one end. Usually I start with the smaller end. You're going to go ahead and dimension this. I'm not, so it's just easier to see what's going on and it's faster. So there's our first one. We're going to exit this sketch. I'm going to select plane 2, put another sketch on there. Give myself a view normal to it. This will be your second diameter circle. Exit out of that. Rotate. I'm going to select plane 2, do a sketch on that. Again, view normal 2. My next circle, exit out of that. And now my last one. And this last one is on plane 3. This sketch will be the sketch that's the diameter of the largest part of my pen tip. Exit out of that. Now I have all of these profiles. Now we're going to use, off the Features tab, the lofted boss to be able to create this shape. So we'll click on that. Because sketch number 4 was already selected, it shows up in this list. We're going to go ahead and pick the other 3. And as we do this, you'll notice that there's these green handles, and the preview is going to show you what it looks like. Now if you end up with something kind of weird, say like that, what you have to do is use the green handles to basically, in this case, unscrew it so that it's somewhat straight. If you put these green handles in a reasonably straight line, it'll create probably the smoothest shape. And you can adjust this however you want to change that shape. Once you're happy with it, you go ahead and hit OK. That's the basic shape of the pen tip. So there's your curves. It's all nice and smooth. Now if your pen tip has a piece that goes out the back, that goes up into the barrel, that's created just using an extruded boss. So we'll hit that, and you just select that surface, draw a circle. That circle's the shape of that boss. Oop, don't need 2 circles. Exit out of there, and then put it as long as it needs to be. Now to hollow this out, some of you might think that using the shell is the right way to do it, and actually the shell is not. The shell will be way more complicated, and it will really give you the correct shape. So what you have to do is you actually hollow it out in the reverse order of how I just created it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with an extruded cut on this surface, and this circle here will be the diameter of the inside of that part of your pen. Exit back out. It'll go down to where that piece starts. You say OK. Now we need to create a 2-profile loft from here down to the bottom here to hollow out that middle section. This is done basically the same way as we did it earlier. We're going to go to the Sketch tab, we're going to hit Sketch, and we're going to select this surface right here, and then we're going to draw a circle, rotate it, that is the same diameter as the inside of that, and then I'll exit my sketch. Now I've got my first sketch up here, and what I'm going to need to do is put a sketch down here on the bottom. So I'm going to select top plane, and I'm going to put a sketch on there. And I'm going to draw a circle right there that'll be the diameter of that inside portion of my pen tip. I say OK and exit the command. Now I can go back to features and I'm going to do a lofted cut. Because that sketch was the last thing I did, it's automatically put in profiles. I need to add this one in. Sometimes you can just click it and it'll work. Sometimes you might have to get it out of the tree over here. Either way, you can see that it's somewhat twisted, so I can take my green handlebars and I'm going to straighten that out. Once I'm happy with it, I hit OK. And that hollows it out. We can see that if we do a section view right here. You can turn around, you can see there it is. It's straight here and then hollowed down there. And that's how you build your pen tip.